Hey there, friends! Big news from the Atlanta Falcons has left many fans wondering what's going on. Let's dive into it. But first, don't forget to hit that like button and join us for daily updates and insights. The Falcons have made another move in free agency, and this time they've signed tight end Tegan Quitoriano. He's a former fifth-round pick from Oregon State, originally drafted by the Houston Texans. While this signing might not be the biggest news of the offseason, it does raise some interesting questions about the team's plans for the tight end position and what this means for their depth as they head into training camp. Quitoriano spent part of last season on the Chicago Bears practice squad, and his career has been marked by injuries and limited playing time. In 3 NFL seasons, he has never played more than 9 games in a single year and has often found himself on injured reserve. That's not exactly a record that inspires a lot of confidence, but the Falcons seem to think there's potential if he can stay healthy. The team is clearly looking for depth behind Kyle Pitts and Charlie Warner, but can Quitoriano really compete for a significant role? One funny thing about this signing is that some Falcons fans are jokingly comparing his name to the famous director Quentin Tarantino because of the unusual spelling. But aside from his name, what can he actually bring to the team? When we look at his stats, there's not much to get excited about. He has only 9 career receptions for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. However, it's interesting to note that 1 out of every 3 catches he's made in the NFL has resulted in a touchdown. Sure, that's a small sample size, but if he can keep that up, maybe there's something to work with. Realistically, though, Quitoriano might just be a camp body, someone brought in to compete for a final roster spot. The Falcons still have Felipe Franks on the depth chart, a player who has switched from quarterback to tight end but hasn't found a steady role yet. Franks has been with the team for a few seasons, and his presence suggests that Atlanta is still looking for a reliable backup behind Pitts. Given Quitoriano's history with injuries, it's hard to imagine him becoming a major contributor, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. While Quitoriano's signing is intriguing, the big news for Falcons fans right now is the upcoming NFL draft and who the team might pick with the 15th overall selection. A recent report from ESPN's Field Yates mentioned that the Falcons were well represented at Marshall's Pro Day, where edge rusher Mike Green really stood out. Green had an amazing college season, leading the nation in sacks with 17. However, some scouts are wondering if his success was just because he faced weaker teams in the Sun Belt Conference. What really caught attention at Marshall's Pro Day was Green's athletic performance. Reports say he showed off elite movement skills, explosiveness, and quickness that suggest he could make a smooth transition to the NFL. One important detail from the event is that Falcons head coach Raheem Morris was there, which is a big deal. If Coach Raheem Morris is making the trip to watch a prospect like Mike Green, it means he's a serious candidate for the Falcons' 15th pick. But here's where things get complicated. The Falcons aren't just looking for the best player available. They have a draft board that could change quickly. They have several needs, and there's no guarantee that Green will still be on the board when it's their turn to pick. For instance, the Chicago Bears hold the 10th pick and might be looking for a pass rusher. If they don't get their top choice, Green could be their backup option. The Raiders are also in the market for a defensive playmaker, and if they choose a different position early, Green might fall into the Falcons' range. This is why picking in the middle of the first round requires a lot of planning. If Green is Atlanta's top choice, they need to have backup plans ready. Other players linked to the Falcons include Will Johnson from Michigan and Jalen Walker from Georgia. Johnson is seen as one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, while Walker's versatility makes him an exciting option for a defense still figuring out its identity. Fans who have been following the draft closely have noticed Walker's rise in popularity. Just a few weeks ago, he wasn't even on most analysts' radars, but as scouts have reviewed his tape, he's emerged as a legitimate top 10 talent. His ability to play multiple positions, whether as an edge rusher, an off-ball linebacker, or a hybrid defender, makes him a great fit for what Morris wants to build. The Falcons need impactful players on defense, and Walker's versatility could give them more options when building their roster. However, they also need to be careful not to overthink their pick. The goal should be straightforward: get the best defensive player available. Whether that's Green, Walker, or someone else, Atlanta can't afford to miss on this selection. They've been stuck in mediocrity for too long, and this draft could be a turning point for the franchise. So, Falcons fans, what do you think about the Quitoriano signing? Is he just another camp body, or could he actually find a role on the team? And when it comes to the draft, do you want the Falcons to go after Mike Green, or would you prefer they target a different defensive playmaker? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If the Falcons' draft strategy wasn't already exciting, let's talk about the possibility of them making a bold move to trade up in the draft. There's been growing speculation that the team might consider trading up if a top defensive prospect starts to slide down the board. General Manager Terry Fontenot has been aggressive in the past when going after players he believes can be key pieces for the team. With Raheem Morris now leading the squad, a high-impact defensive selection seems likely. The biggest question is whether the Falcons see a player like Will Johnson as a true game-changer at cornerback. If the standout player from Michigan is still available around the 9th or 10th pick, the Falcons might consider trading up to secure him before the Chicago Bears can grab him. This move would make a lot of sense if Atlanta believes that Will Johnson is the missing piece for their secondary, especially since Coach Morris focuses on building a strong defense from the back end forward. However, trading up means giving away valuable draft picks, and General Manager Terry Fontenot has always been careful about overpaying. If the Falcons decide to stay at 15, the depth of defensive talent in this draft could still allow them to find a game-changer without sacrificing future picks. Players like Jalen Walker, Mike Green, and even Alabama's Dallas Turner have all been mentioned as potential fits, depending on how the draft unfolds. Beyond the draft, another important story to follow is the growth of Atlanta's young offensive core. With Kirk Cousins still uncertain about his future, the Falcons are preparing as if Michael Penix Jr. will be their starting quarterback moving forward. Penix has received positive feedback from the coaching staff, and his deep ball accuracy could really open up the offense in ways we haven't seen in a long time. The key, though, will be surrounding him with enough weapons to succeed. That's why the Falcons' interest in adding a veteran receiver is a hot topic. Hunter Renfrow's name keeps coming up in rumors, and he seems like a good fit for Atlanta's system. Renfrow's ability to run underneath routes would give Penix a reliable target in crucial situations, which could help a young quarterback feel more comfortable. The Falcons really need that safety net, especially since Kyle Pitts is still working on building consistent chemistry in the offense. So, Falcons fans, where do you stand on all these developments? Should the team trade up to grab a defensive star, or is it smarter to stay at 15? And when it comes to finding weapons for Penix, is Renfrow the right choice, or should the team look for someone else? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive Falcons content. We're just getting started this offseason, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Go Falcons!